Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, 7 days in to 2021, and it has not failed to entertain. So look, I said it in 2020, and I'll say it again on day 7 of 2021. It's a hell of a time to have a podcast where you talk about things going on in the world, because there's a lot to talk about. So I don't even know where to start. There's a lot to get into. We're going to get into all of it. And we're going to kick it off with, what we would say, it's only right that we start with the most important news.
Dee's Super Bowl.
This is like, I don't even know what to, it's as big as news gets for Dee especially.
And then at the end, we have replaced the zoom out strategy with the biggest investment strategy of 2021.
Yep, stay tuned. Let's get into it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, group chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
I mean, wow.
Big news.
Big news. For everyone out there who thought 2020 was just like an isolated year where it was maybe a little hectic, but 2021, new year, new us, let's get back to normalcy. No. Blockbuster year. Hold my beer 2020. We're 6 days in, 7 days in now, and we are fucking wild.
It is out of the gate. And, I know everyone's talking about the Capitol storming.
Oh, the little old Capitol storming, huh?
Yeah, it's old news. That's old news.
Yeah,
within 24 hours, it's old news.
Yeah, that seems pretty irrelevant.
I mean, that's not even the biggest news of the year so far.
Oh, Georgia Senate.
No.
Oh. Bitcoin, all-time high.
No, come on. This is way bigger.
What is it?
The potential divorce of Kim Kardashian and Kanye West.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you know what? You're right. And I don't know how I forgot.
And more importantly, first there was the rumor that they were getting a divorce that I saw on page 6.
Yeah.
Then the internet, which, sometimes the internet can cause a storming of the Capitol. Sometimes the internet can give you a good laugh.
It can do all the above.
And I got a good chuckle because the rumors, the internet took over that Kim Kardashian is dating Van Jones, the CNN host.
Love that.
And Kanye's dating, I don't want to mess up the pronoun, but Jeffree Star, the YouTube star. And that's Kanye's man, woman.
I mean, talk about going to two different directions.
So, Dee talks about his 3 favorite things to do: Super Bowl, Coachella, or Basel.
Yep.
This is bigger than all 3 of them for him.
Yes.
This news. Yeah.
Would you skip a day of Coachella to get this news?
Would you skip it? Hold on. Would you skip a day of Coachella to find out if Jeffree Star and Kanye West is a fact or not?
100%. I would show up Saturday. I mean, so the rumor why people think Jeffree Star and Kanye are dating is that Jeffree Star posted a picture on social media and the reflection looks like it's Kanye.
Oh.
And that's why, and he's just playing into it. He's not denying it or accepting it. He's just kind of playing into it. And so that's why, the internet came up with that. I don't know how Van Jones and Kanye, it makes sense with, Daily Mail reported that Kanye is jealous of Kim because she is focused on becoming an attorney and social justice reform and the family, which I don't know what he's jealous of. That's what she's
jealous of her interests.
Yeah. I think he's jealous. Yeah, I think he's jealous of Kylie. I think he's jealous of that family.
Yeah, if a family that has created enormous wealth, he might be like last straw.
Yeah, look, that Kanye is one of his biggest drivers. He's a very, ego-driven dude, and fame and money is very important to him, and success. And you're packed in a family where it's hard to shine.
I mean, and by the way, I don't know if you guys, because all the other news, KKW, her beauty brand, I think sold some small stake in it for $200 million.
Yeah.
And she still also owns Skims, which is definitely $1 billion business.
Yeah.
I mean, Kim might be multiples
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I would say
Richer
for
than
sure. I
Kanye.
would argue there's a very, very good chance, from what I hear, that Jeffree Star might be more liquid than Kanye West.
No way.
Yeah.
He or she makes that much money?
Hundreds of millions.
No way.
Yep.
All from YouTube?
Makeup.
Cosmetics.
The makeup collection is like, it's literally, it's like, you know, I don't know. I'm gonna botch this, but you have like the Kylies and the whatever. Jeffree Star is not far behind. Jeffree's makeup is like wildly successful.
Maybe Kim wasn't giving Kanye a big enough allowance.
So he wanted to level up.
I agree, man. Go back to Amber Rose. You know what I mean? Like, go back to like, just get your shine on.
Yeah.
You know, I think he was attracted to like the celebrity of Kim. Once again, I'm speculating my ass off, but I think he liked it. I think he liked the whole thing. But then that family blew the fuck up to a whole nother level over the last few years. That's tough on the ego.
Yeah, and especially, you know, if you think about Kardashians, you know, a lot of people kind of have been annoyed with them for the last couple of years and kind of wrote them off. And they've quietly actually probably made more money than they've ever made.
Yeah.
They're more influential than they've ever been. And they have now set up these massive businesses that are kind of, I mean, they're completely untouchable on some of these categories.
Yeah, because you could make the argument, sure, Charli D'Amelio is the biggest social media star today.
Yeah.
But it takes time to commercialize that and translate that into a product that has distribution worldwide.
Yeah.
So it's not saying Charli D'Amelio won't be able to do that, but it just takes time to make a product, manufacture it, distribute it, and actually have that kind of traction.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes time. And I think it's hard on the ego. And I just think, man, what I love about this rumor is if Kim then in turn went and sort of leveled up with Van Jones, which I don't know Van Jones' credentials.
I don't know if it's a level up.
What'd you say?
I don't think that's a level up.
I think, you know why I think it's a level up? You know why I'm such a big fan of it? Is because I don't know Van Jones' credentials, but I think he's on
CNN.
But he's a lawyer, right? He has a law degree, right?
We can look that up.
Let's look that up. But I believe that Van Jones, if you're going for criminal justice reform and being a lawyer as your new path, Van Jones and Kanye West and Kim Kardashian walking around talking about criminal justice reform, to me, is a level up. That's a level up in like, you're not dating like the rapper, the wild, you know, whatever. You're dating, you know, I think a fellow law degree holder, and you guys are working on criminal justice reform together.
He went to Yale Law.
Yes, he's an author, lawyer.
I mean, look at this, a Yale law degree. That to me is a level up.
Written books.
It's not a pop culture level up, but it's a like, imagine Kim walking around in her little pantsuit with Van Jones, and they're going into the courthouse to free some wrongly incarcerated people. Are you shitting me? While
better.
Kanye's with Jeffree Star dyeing their hair pink?
It gets better. If this is true, if the Kim Van Jones part is true, Van Jones is the CEO of the Reform Alliance that Jay-Z and Meek Mill started.
Yes.
That is a big FU.
Level up. I'm telling you.
So
my bros, that's a level up.
I mean, Kanye and Jay-Z are effectively rivals, right?
Yeah, and now Kim's Jay-Z's partner.
Yes.
Take that.
To be fair,
see on YouTube.
Her sources are now saying that, speaking to Page 6, after all these rumors, that she's not dating. She can't go to restaurants now on dates and have paparazzi. She can't date quietly. She doesn't even understand what would it be like. So maybe it is completely fabricated, but I like it.
I mean, look, I think we've seen this time and time again. You hear the rumors. I'm not saying it's true. I think it's 50-50. But you hear the rumors. You get the statement, oh, she doesn't even remember how to date.
And Van Jones is on CNN, which is headquartered in Atlanta. Let's see the PJ logs from LA to Atlanta. Has there been a G6 going back and forth?
Let's check them. Let's see who's helping out with that criminal justice reform. I just, if this goes in the direction that Kim is going that direction, and it's her and Van Jones power couple making big moves with criminal justice reform, and Kanye, even if he's not running around with Jeffree Star, but he just, you know, I think as crazy as this might sound to say, I think that family actually kind of like grounded him a little bit. Like, I think when he's talking about running for president, when he's having these freakouts, they tried to get him to calm down. Some people might say that family drove him crazy. I don't know. But I don't like the chances of where Kanye ends up mentally.
Without the family?
Without some stability, you know? But man, you put Kim on CNN, little talking head.
Crying with Van Jones. How many times has Van Jones cried on CNN?
I'm just telling you, it works. Get Kim on there with a couple tears.
Oh my God. It'll be
Power suit.
I mean, by the way, if Kim Kardashian ends up with a show on CNN, blockbuster.
That's the only thing that could save CNN in a post-Trump world.
Honestly, they should just give her half the company and say, bring the whole family on.
Yeah.
Kendall handing out
Pepsi.
KNN. Kendall's just hands out a Pepsi to the loser of the week.
She's been quiet. What's she been up to?
Handing out Pepsis.
Yeah. I heard she was down at the Capitol building handing out Pepsis. Okay, well, we have one other piece of big news that I thought is what you were going to mention.
Yes.
Our guy, Elon, has passed Jeffy Bezos as the richest man in the world. Tesla stock is just unstoppable. And I just want to mention, as a little kicker, he's been killing it on Twitter.
Yeah.
He posted the domino effect that, a website made to rate girls' hotness on college campuses, how it domino affects to storming the Capitol, a man dressed in a bear suit. He's been going real hard on Bitcoin. I couldn't be a bigger fan of this.
So Elon Musk is now the richest man in the world. He made over $1.5 billion today, maybe $2 when the stock closed. He is now worth $190 billion. And, someone tweeted at him that how much he's worth, and Elon Musk responded, "How strange."
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he cares.
Yeah, I don't think so.
He's not driven by money. He never has been. I think he thinks it's all a game. I think he thinks Earth is a game.
He thinks we live in a simulation.
And the real world's in Mars, right?
Yeah. He literally, his speech about the simulation.
I think he has a very big ego, and he may not care about the money, but there's a status that comes with being the richest man in the world, which to many equates as the most powerful man in the world. And he's essentially a leader of a group of people that really, really believe in him. I don't want to say cult because that has a negative connotation. I don't think it's a cult. It's culty, but
cult
it's not
adjacent,
like culty.
I would say.
Yeah, cult adjacent is right. Yeah. But it definitely, he's definitely inspired and has a following with a lot of young people that has made him this figure.
Yeah. I think he eats that up. I think he loves that. But I do think, I don't know. It seems to me that, I don't know. I don't want to make any guesses. But, either way, I couldn't be a bigger fan. And the fact that this guy is just also, talking shit and saying crazy stuff on Twitter and, making fun of Facebook and very outspoken. And we all know the famous smoking weed on Joe Rogan when everyone was like, this is it. The stock's messed up. This guy's not fit. It was not that long ago that it was like, this guy is unfit. Get him out of there.
And in 2018... he tried to fire sell the company to Apple.
Yeah.
It's just a mind-boggling story because it's the most shorted company in the history of the stock market because the financials actually don't make sense.
Yeah.
But the stock has never reflected that. And it's sort of like your comment you made about Bitcoin and the US dollar. The only reason they exist is because people believe in it.
Yeah.
And it's just like people believe in Tesla. And the numbers don't make sense.
Yeah.
But everyone just believes in Tesla. And I've heard the argument that if you bet on Tesla, you're betting on the future of energy. But they
haven't done anything to show that, in my opinion.
Tesla's valuation is reflecting what people think it's going to be in 5 years. But that's with flawless execution when in 2018, the ship almost burned.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So that means in 5 years, it's going to be worth $10 trillion.
Yes, because they will think it's worth $50 trillion in 5 years from then.
Yeah. The stock, just to put in perspective, is at $816. On March 17th, it was $86.
That's split adjusted?
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's 10x.
What, it split 2 times or 4 times?
Was it 3-1, I think, right? Went 1,400 to 400 or something like that.
He's going to do another split and then It'll just go back right up.
He should make that stock $2. However many times you got to split.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's $2 a share. It stays at $2. When it gets to 10, it goes splits and goes back to 2. And
It'll be
everyone
worth
get
10
it.
trillion. That's what I said it. I said it when it first split. I'm like, why are you doing 3 for 1? Do 100 for 1.
Yeah, I think if Amazon and Tesla split all the way down to $1, they could just go $1 to $2 split.
Yeah.
$2.
Amazon's blowing it. Why are you $3,000? Like I know that you can do fractional shares and all that stuff, but it's like sticker shock. It's like you don't jump in for that.
I know.
No, you know what I mean?
The average retail investor, because
Thinks it's
they don't
expensive.
understand market caps, all they see is numbers like Amazon's too expensive. It's 3,000.
Yes.
Tesla's only 800.
Yes, it's going to become Amazon. Look at that's how they do the math. I'm telling you, man, there's a big strategy issue there.
Well, there was a guy that tweeted, Bitcoin is now worth more than the Dow. So he said Bitcoin is now whatever it is. At that time, it was like 32,000 or whatever, and the Dow was at 30,000.
Oh, he's comparing the Dow actual number, not the
Yes.
market cap of the 30 companies? I was like, this guy's wrong. The Dow 30 is like however many trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
No, but he doesn't know the difference.
I'm
He's
telling
like,
you, the
Bitcoin-
majority don't.
Yeah.
I'm
So
telling you, majority of Tesla investors, stockholders, do not know that difference.
Yeah, so I think the challenge is that people, and Elon Musk knew this in the spring when he split his stock, was you have to keep the price low because the average Tesla fan is betting on just the stock price going up, not the market cap going
The
up.
Dow 30,000 is the greatest thing I've ever heard. Oh, Bitcoin just passed the Dow.
It's the biggest thing in the world. It's literally the bedrock of America is Bitcoin now. It's just like, man, you should literally be able to buy like a new Model X and it comes with like $50 of Tesla stock.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's so crazy,
It's
but he
paper,
knows
it's
how
their
to play
game.
that. Yeah, he knows how
I
to
don't
play
even
it.
understand because it traded 50 million shares today, okay? So that means it's not just average Joe's buying this stock.
Yeah.
There are corporate institutions that are betting at this price, or are they just manipulating the price because they already have so much in it? Like, I don't even.
I think it's Tesla's so volatile, and it has been for so many years, that every major hedge fund has one trader dedicated to trading Tesla.
Yeah.
Like they just
Fig-
daily
figure it out.
just okay. If you follow a stock every single day, it's the only stock you follow, and I know this doesn't make sense mathematically, but you get a feel for how momentum works.
Yeah.
Like if I remember for 1 week I watched Shopify every day, the stock, and I'd be like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, it hit 900. That means it's going to be back to 950 in a day. And like,
Yeah.
oh, it's going to hit 860. You know,
Yeah,
it's just like a momentum that these stocks have if you follow the volume
Yeah.
and you see which way it swings. And I think hedge funds have made, I guarantee you, it is a number of people have retired trading Tesla stock.
Yeah. For sure. Guaranteed. Okay. Well, look, good for him. I couldn't be happier. I feel a lot better. Not that I don't like Jeff Bezos, but I feel a lot better having it be. I think it's more fitting to 2021 to have Elon be the richest man in the world as opposed to Jeff Bezos.
Zuck's got to be so mad.
Man.
No
Very
one's
mad.
even talking about him.
Yeah.
Zuck is a peasant.
Yeah, it's gross. You know, let's not bring that name up. You know,
By the way, the Winklevoss are probably richer than Zuck now.
I can't. I mean, if that's not true now, I can't wait for that day. It just feels like.
I mean,
That'll make me
I gotta
happy.
assume these fuckers have like at least a million coins.
Yeah.
So they claimed they owned $1 billion a coin. I think, shit, I have to go back and look, but I'll find out. But there's a real chance just their Bitcoin holdings are worth like 40, 50 billion.
Yeah.
And they have so much Ethereum too, because they're pumping that now.
Yeah. And what about they had to be early on like Coinbase and stuff, right?
No, they started their own exchange,
you're right.
Gemini.
Oh,
Right.
okay, so they're making money there too. And they're probably in every coin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're probably worth 50 to 75 billion. If I had to
Is
guess.
What's Zuck worth? In that range, right?
Yeah, he's got it. What'd you say Elon's worth now?
190.
Zuck's got to be worth 100 billion. If he's not, that's pathetic.
Oh my God. Okay, and then here's the other thing too: is Amazon. Speaking of number two, Amazon.
Oh,
is,
he 101 billion. Thank God.
I mean, I don't know, man. After you kick off Trump, that might be you might drop to 90.
Yeah.
Amazon's pledging more than $2 billion for affordable housing.
Yeah.
This is in 3 major cities?
3 cities they're pledging it in.
It's cities where they have a big presence. Is that what's happening? Or
Seattle is obviously one of the cities, and then Arlington, where Amazon has more than 1,000 employees across from Washington D.C.
Yeah.
And then Nashville. So, I mean, the reason why I thought this was really interesting is that, like, I think you're seeing Amazon do this in 3 cities. All these other big companies that have just created enormous wealth are going to go do this all over America, which I think is amazing for the entire country. So, like, it would be great if a Nashville becomes a city hub, and clearly Atlanta is already there and continuing to grow. But, like, these big companies can really change the country's landscape and solve some of the problems that we saw, like the guy who chose to take a picture on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Yep. If he could have a decent wage in Knoxville, Tennessee, because Nashville's booming, then maybe he wouldn't be doing that. And I think that changes everything.
And I think of the 3 of us, I think I'm the least like telling multinational corporations, you have to give, you have to do things and whatnot. But what I do think a company like Amazon should be doing, because they're worth, are they worth $2 trillion right now? Yeah. We know that's on its way to 10 pretty quickly. Imagine if Amazon at all their fulfillment centers, 1.5 trillion, built housing for the workers and say, hey, subsidized housing, 2-bedroom apartment, your family can live here. Yeah. Those are things that I think structurally can solve so many of the problems in the country. So if an Amazon warehouse worker who makes $10 to $15 an hour, depending on what state they're working in, doesn't have to worry about rent, he's going to be a better worker for Amazon. Yeah. Amazon will reap the benefits.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that's some direction of the solution to all these problems, but it's a deep thing to figure out. But yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah, and Amazon employs more than any of these other tech companies. Like Facebook employees don't need housing. They're all rich.
Yeah.
Google employees don't need housing. Yeah. But Amazon workers, 90% of the workers are in the field delivering goods.
Yep.
The problem is where they're building housing isn't for those people.
No, I know, but I'm just saying I wish people, I'm sure Jeff's a genius. Do you think he hasn't thought about that?
Yeah. Look, that's what always blows my mind is all these people have to have thought about it. And if you're Jeff Bezos and you watch what happened on the news yesterday, you have to be like, there's something dangerous here.
Yeah.
And like I'm in the crosshairs somewhere down the line here. And I just feel like, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's a little too optimistic for me, but it feels like longer term, some solutions will come out of these extremely intelligent people that you can't help but realize that eventually that hurts your business.
Yeah.
So even if you're strictly business, eventually what happened at the Capitol building hurts Amazon's growth. So if you can get it out of the way, you have bigger potential.
Because think about it, Bezos is worth $190 billion around that area if Elon's just passed him, right? So he's guaranteed going to 5x that net worth in the next 10 to 15 years. So even if you don't want to make it an Amazon, put it on Amazon's P&L, building this housing, how much would it cost to house every Amazon delivery guy and warehouse worker?
Yeah.
10 billion, 20 billion? I don't know what the number is. It's not 100.
Yeah.
So it's a fraction of your net worth.
Yeah.
Maybe McKinsey can do it.
McKinsey's giving away her money. And
it seems to me like 6 of these people could sit in a room for a weekend, go have a freaking think week, and you could figure out a system here that works. Because look, I think we all agree that like making it law feels bad.
Yes.
And we also all agree that the government sucks with money, with how they choose to spend it. So like you guys are the smartest people in the world that have redefined how people shop and redefined how people communicate and you're telling me you can't redefine how money is distributed, or like it just seems you got Andrew Yang giving it his best shot, and everyone else is just like pretending they don't see it.
Because here's the issue that I have is like Dubai, a place like Dubai. If you are a Emirati local, like actually from United Arab Emirates, born and raised, the moment I think you get married, they hand you a house, and you're good.
Really?
Yes. But it's only for the locals, not for anyone who wasn't, who's not actually an Emirati. So it's people who have generations have been there.
Yeah.
So that's government subsidized. We have subsidized the stock prices and net worth of every tech CEO with pumping $6 trillion in the last 8 months.
Yeah.
So your wealth has been subsidized.
Yeah. Yeah, totally agree.
So subsidized, I mean, this is now the argument like, hey guys, we know it's a rigged game. You could have made the argument a year ago even, hey, these companies are growing. That's why they have this value. These valuations are inflated by the government.
Yeah, I totally agree. To me, it's fucking liposuction. It's like it's cosmetic as opposed to like structural or preventative, or you know what I'm saying? And eventually we all know how that works out. It adds up and real problems happen. Like to me, like everyone's storming the Capitol, as terrible as it is, but while the stock market is on fire, like it's only taken so serious. Imagine if that was black and white people and the stock market was in a recession. Imagine what that feels like.
Right.
And that's very possible as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, it's just think about if you knew you were an Amazon worker and you signed up for 10 years, but it guaranteed you housing, and they guaranteed a worker to be in a warehouse, and it will make such a difference.
Yeah, 100%. I think it has to happen. On some level, that has to happen. Because if you're these billionaires, you have to be smart enough to know if you don't help figure it out, the government you're gonna get an AOC in there.
Yes.
It's gonna happen. Because this resentment is gonna build, and someone's gonna lawfully take it, and you're gonna have your 80% tax, or you could figure it out yourself. And it just seems like they would. Once again, might be crazy optimistic to think that they even give a shit, but it seems like you're so much better off figuring it out on your own terms with a system that actually works than to be like, all right, here you go, and then that money's just never to be seen.
Yeah, I think Walmart should be doing the same thing.
I
Anyone
agree.
with hourly workers where the majority of your base is hourly workers and you're north of a $500 billion company.
Yeah. I agree. And that's what I don't get is like, that is the new steel plant. So like steel plants aren't coming back, but Amazon fulfillment centers are. You know what I mean? So like if you want to look forward to where the like sort of pre-made American dream, just sort of coast into it, pay enough for your family to live thing. To me, it's an Amazon warehouse worker.
Yes. And not everyone has aspirations to be rich.
Yeah.
Some people just want to have a normal life for their family.
Yeah, most.
Yes.
I agree. Okay, we got to move on. So yesterday, I don't know if you guys saw, but the fourth most important thing in the news was the U.S. Capitol building got stormed. People ran in. We have a great in-the-moment episode that we did last night that is up right now. So if you want our true deep dive on that, check that episode out. It was an emergency live stream. So we won't go too deep in it because we already did. But now here we are, the day after. And, I think one of the big questions that everyone's asking is like, how do we get this dude out of here now? Like, we know he has 13 days, but we want him out now. So Schumer, it looks like Pelosi and Schumer are both calling for the 25th Amendment, which 25th Amendment is what? Like, this guy's unfit, mentally can't handle it, got to get him out.
Yeah, it's it's a danger to the country.
Got it. Any chance this happens? We just wait till the 20th? How's this play out?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be shocked if anything happens in removing Trump. But I think what's going to happen is it's going to be a wild next 13 days.
Yep.
Facebook has banned him for the remainder of his presidency.
Yep.
So he's not on Facebook or Instagram. Twitter, I think the ban ends today, so we'll see what they do. I'm sure on Parler they gave him a blue check mark.
An American flag pin.
Yeah, like people you should follow. And I think, it's going to be a crazy next 13 days, especially if he can't keep his mouth shut. Yep. But everyone has bailed on him. Obviously, Mitch McConnell bailed on him yesterday. Lindsey Graham last night.
Lady G, man, came in hot. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
What?
But Josh, what's his name?
Howley.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has not bailed on him. He's
No.
like, I don't really stand for this, but I'm still.
That guy's hoping for a job.
Yeah.
He wants to be in Trump
wants to be
media.
Yeah.
VP at Newsmax.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think I don't think anything's going to happen, but I do think now I don't think anyone's holding back on criminal, civil charges. They're going to go full blown after the presidency. I think Joe Biden could be the only person that steps in and says, we need to go back to normalcy, leave this guy alone. Let's just forget about him, make him irrelevant. Yeah. But I just don't, I don't see a reason to not pursue this.
Yeah, I also think I saw a change happen where people had mentioned this before, but a lot more people started making like the Hitler comparison after yesterday. Like in all seriousness, a lot more people were like, read books. And there's a book I ordered. This is how people like Hitler came into power. Like literally you are storming the Capitol in the name of patriotism and you're being told that whatever. So like, I think it jumped to a different world yesterday. And I think like how dangerous he's viewed and also how much of an idiot he's viewed by other world leaders. Like, I think this really put him in a different bucket.
Yeah. So aides close to Trump have said he's trying to figure out in the last final days how he's going to pardon himself. Yeah. Like that's an actual story.
Yeah.
So that'll save him on the federal level, even if he figures out something. And I agree, Biden probably won't pursue anything just because, like, let's get the clown show out of here. We don't need it to be a news topic. But New York's going after him. Like, there's no question. Yeah. And I think he's going to get guilty of something in New York, whether that requires fines, jail time, who knows. Yeah. But at the state level, a state like New York, which he has mocked from the day he entered office, they are going to go after him. And then I actually don't think the next 13 days or whatever are going to be crazy because Facebook and Twitter, if Twitter doesn't keep the ban, I'd be very disappointed. Yeah. But like, I haven't heard anything about him.
It's so nice.
The moment you banned him.
You see how easy that was?
Yeah.
It's so easy.
It's so insane, man. What I was hoping last night, because we talked about it in depth on our episode last night, but what I was hoping is that this also shows how easily it is to take the rug out from someone. Mm-hmm. Now, that is also really dangerous, but you notice that today there is dramatically less just inciting and all this bullshit because he's neutered.
Yeah, and I actually think because of what happened, we're actually going to end up in a much better place from a social media standpoint. And I also think a better place in terms of the country. I'll tell you one thing. I would say the last 24 hours is the most united the country has been since Donald Trump became president.
Totally.
And so I think even people that voted for him, I'm sure there's plenty of people that obviously still support him and the storming of Normandy or whatever you want to call it last night.
Yeah.
But like that is such it was so disgusting for so many people. Because you were hypocritical if you did not condone that. Because when BLM happened, when everyone's like, oh, peaceful protest is okay, but the rioting, looting, you rioted and looted. This is federal property. This is the United States Capitol. This is the capital of the most powerful country in the world. And they just took it over. And like, there's a meme that Miguel posted. I think there's the guy at the football game that's like patting down. He's not really checking for guns. And that's what it was. It was just like, let the guy in, I mean, and now the video of that woman getting murdered is out and it's gnarly.
It's very gnarly. They said they only arrested 14 people.
That's insane.
And there was people with unregistered guns. There was people beating cops with pipes. I believe that there was 14 officers injured. So if there's 14 officers injured, there's bombs, there's people in Congress, there's guy in the wolf head, there's fucking pipes, there's all this shit, and 14 people got arrested? That's insanity.
And by the way, we know all of their names, their faces. The internet has identified all of them. If they're not all locked up in jail today, it's a joke.
And someone else made this point, but I wish we would have talked about it last night, is I'm guessing that the majority of that crowd is so pissed when athletes kneel.
Oh, yeah.
Not our flag.
No.
How dare you?
But storming the
Let's
chamber.
storm. Let's put our feet up on Pelosi's desk in a wolf head. You fucking psycho. This is so crazy.
The only way I would measure progress, and if the country's more united, what % of the 71 million people who voted for Trump regret their vote?
Yeah.
Is it now 10 million fewer people would have done it post this?
Yeah, you know what? I almost wish, and I don't actually mean this, that we could do a revote. Let's do what we did in Georgia. Let's just see.
Yes.
Let's see where we stand.
That's the gauge.
I agree. You're totally right. And that I'm still blown away. Because look, to me, like this Congress stuff, like it's crazy. And yes, I think it crossed the line. But at the same time, are we really that shocked? And so my point is, didn't we see kind of the writing on the wall with all this in November in election time? So those 71 million people didn't or didn't care or are more worried about their taxes than this? Or like what is, the part that absolutely dumbfounds me is I don't see the explanation for that many people still voting. Because 4 more years?
I would love to meet the person that is still voting for Trump for taxes as the Capitol is getting stormed.
For sure. And the thing is, there's tens of millions.
Oh, yeah.
I would love you. And you know what? You're a fucking loser.
Yeah.
You're that person. You're literally a loser.
It's so wild, man. And then we got a couple, I don't know, it looks like a couple low-level people. I don't mean to discount it, but like people are resigning, but it's like the first one was Melania's like spokesperson.
Really?
Yes. Like, come on, man.
Mitch's wife resigned.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, transportation secretary. But like, you resigned a week before? You're just going on a vacation early.
What message are you sending? Like, don't act like you're sending this strong message of like, I can't believe. Of the things that happened in the last 4 years, yes, this is the craziest, but there's things that were not that much less crazy.
No, and he was talking about this the whole time. Yeah. He's been talking about this since before the election. He's been saying he's getting Supreme Court justices in there. He's been saying they won't accept it. He's been saying it.
I mean, fine people on both sides happened really early on.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. There's that. And then in the, we'll call it the 7th most important story of the frickin' day is Bitcoin is just continuing to be absolutely on fire.
Yep.
Did it hit 40K?
It did.
Okay. So it hit 40K. It's getting a little, last time I checked, it's, we're a little wavy, but nothing crazy by any means. We're back up.
39.4.
Oh, what am I saying even? So, all right. So on top of all this, the dollar is dead.
I mean,
we stormed the Capitol.
I said
and did the dollar.
I said it. I'm going to interview that crowd that stormed the Capitol and ask them about Bitcoin.
Well, what's the best part about it is historically, political instability was never good for the stock market.
Yep.
It's actually never been better.
No.
I mean, Bitcoin is one thing, right? Tesla is another. I'm talking about a little company called Lemonade, which I'm a huge fan of, an insurance company, renters insurance company. They do renters insurance. That is
great product.
Okay, sure. Fantastic product.
I use it.
$8.6 billion of market cap. The stock went up 27% today on no news. Absolutely no news. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Look, I think political unrest. I think political rest. I think political out for a jog. I think it doesn't matter.
Do you know what matters? Stimmy.
Stimmy matters.
Stimmy matters.
Stimmy matters. And I think Dave Portnoy, we got to give it up. He called it. He put it into a few short words early on.
Yes. Stocks only go up.
4 words.
When he started day trading and then the crypto community started badgering him, like buy Bitcoin, he would have 4x'd. That I know Davey Day Trader has him 4x his entire portfolio.
Yeah. Here's a question. Do you think that if you looked at the statistics about just the number of people that even partake in the stock market, those numbers have gone through the roof? Like, is that part of the explanation for this?
No, that's not. I know people want to make it like the Robinhood investors, the one causing this. It's not even close. It's institutions. It's $6 trillion. That's what it is.
Yeah, to me, it just seems like Tesla is like 100% driven by people that never cared about stocks. Like Tesla might be their first stock.
Mm-hmm. But I mean,
so
that's not enough for the whole.
You could do the math. Let's say that's 10 million people, right? And they each bought one share.
Yeah.
You know, the average Robin
just
Hood,
nothing.
my guess is $1,000. If that, I bet you it's $500.
Yeah.
The average Robin Hood account. And so, you know, these people like, yeah, sure, maybe it's if the market cap is 800 billion, then maybe 80 billion is, you know, retail Joe. But think about it. You're talking about global, not just the American stimulus. There's been global stimulus.
Yep.
There's also no need to go buy bonds because there's no interest and yields available. Yeah. So you have to put money to work. The safest thing in the world is buying U.S. equities, right? Because it used to be buying gold or buying...
real estate's on fire too.
Everything's on fire.
Yeah.
Everything's inflated.
You know, because those are really your only two options, right? Stock market or real estate.
Well, if you think about
if you want to move, if you want to put like $500 billion to work.
Oh, you're talking about institutional.
You can't buy real estate.
Yeah.
What are you buying?
Yeah.
The math is we printed 35% of what was in U.S. dollar circulation pre-March in the last 10 months.
Yeah.
So 35% new money came in. That has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So it inflated everything. Real estate.
And then you eliminate bonds
stocks,
and all that
stuff.
stuff.
You eliminate all that stuff.
Got it.
And that's just the U.S. Like Dee said, every country did this.
Yeah.
Every country has 0% interest rates.
Stimmy us up.
Stimmy.
Let's get another round of stimmies. I think Joe Biden and I believe Ossoff said, if I get in there, $2K.
Stimmy.
Stimmy it up.
Stimmy Twitter is going to be the winner of 2021.
Yeah, Stimmy Twitter's, you know, I'm a big
That's a
fan
special
of,
place.
I thought we were the only ones talking about Stimmy, by the way, and then I saw like there's so many memes, and I was like, I felt so like, you know, at home.
Yeah. Stimmy, Anthony's the one that really turned me on to Stimmy early, Stimmy Twitter.
There was a meme that I saw of a black guy like standing, kind of looking, like just kind of looking focused in the middle of like the hall in Congress while everyone's rioting, looting, whatever. And he said, the caption was, I wonder where they hide the Stimmy. It was so good.
I saw one of my favorite ones was a guy sitting in front of an ATM machine with his headphones and he's just gaming, waiting on my Stimmy.
Oh my God. It's so good. I really feel like we just turned into like the Yangs. We're here.
Yeah,
we're here.
Oh my gosh.
I
Okay.
mean, Joe Biden has said it's going to be Stimmy on Stimmy on Stimmy.
Yeah. You know, all the people that hated Joe Biden and all the Republicans, whatever, they're still waiting on that Stimmy.
Yeah, do you think the poor people who voted Trump, when they start getting $2K every month from Biden, are they going to be like, he's Antifa? Or is
Because they're not anti-Stimmy.
By the way,
They're
we
like-
saw there is this whole rumor that the people that stormed the Capitol were actually Antifa.
Yeah.
We got
Look,
a
if you're a
screenshot
psycho,
from a doctor in Los Angeles who believes that it's Antifa. We don't know this person. It was sent to us. So a doctor, someone who's operating on people.
but look, that's going to be a portion. It's almost the same as, which I don't want to compare because I understand this fear, but like the African-American population being scared of vaccines because of the experiments in the past, right? Like because there have been provocateurs, there's always going to be a group that says, nope, that was the other side. Mm-hmm. It's always going to happen.
It's the Tesla short.
Yeah, it is. It's
Tesla short is that.
Yeah. There's always the like, no, you're not going to fool me. The freaking bearded dude with a Auschwitz shirt and a fucking lion head was of Antifa. Mm-hmm. Provocateur. You idiots. But whatever. It's just, the thing that blows my mind is this. It's like, the next step past this, to me, is like devastating. Whatever that is, I don't know. But the next step past unrest and whatever. I don't understand how anyone with a brain can make excuses now.
Yeah, the next step is all those people with guns just pointing and firing.
Yeah.
That's the next step.
Yeah. That's the next step. So, and I already think, unfortunately, I hate to say this out loud, but I do think that this comes with more Nashville type situations. There's going to be more little things. There was bombs found all over the city in DC. These motherfuckers love to make bombs. And so other things are going to come from this, but it's just like, anyone with a brain or with any responsibility or any authority to make any excuse or try to downplay it or anything is like mind blowing to me.
Yeah, the argument against censorship is basically you don't want someone to come into power and take advantage and abuse it.
Yep.
But when you know the majority of your population is a dummy,
Yeah.
censorship kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I would like to have a good debate about censorship because I'm not sure.
I mean, China's a much more peaceful place.
Well, yeah, listen, I wouldn't trade us for China, but there's something there.
If you told the average person, like if the average steelworker, if they saw their counterpart in China and saw their life, they'd be like, damn, I wish I had that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right. That's really what they want.
Mm-hmm.
They want direction, they want a job they can do, and they want stability.
Yes.
China's got that.
Yes.
Just don't say anything bad.
Don't say anything bad and don't get too rich.
Don't start a podcast or a fucking reality show, Jack Ma. Has anyone found Jack Ma, by the way?
No.
Okay.
Have you signed up for the Grand Running Club 75 Mile Challenge? All you have to do is run or walk 75 miles in the month of January. Why can't you do that? I know it's a few days into January. There's people storming the Capitol without getting hurt. You can't run 75 miles in the month of January? I think you can. Go to grandrunningclub.com, sign up now, invest in yourself before you invest in crypto.
All right, next up. What is this? SoFi is going public. Chamath is tweeting about it. This seems like something we need to talk about.
SPAC it up.
Oh, we got another SPAC.
Yeah.
SPAC it up. So when does this come on my Robinhood? Should I be ready now? Or?
Yeah, you can SPAC right now.
Okay.
But it hasn't closed.
Okay.
But here's the funniest thing. So he is IPO A through Z because he's going to do the whole alphabet for SPACs. So he's only done IPO A through now E with this one.
Okay.
I just went and looked on F and G. They do not have companies yet. And they went up 10%. So it doesn't even matter what he buys.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been thinking about all these types. These are the types of things I like to think about. The Empire SPACs back.
Yes, that's good.
Baby got SPACs.
Yep.
You know, this is the type of things that, take up my mind.
Stimmy, Twitter, and SPAC memes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Stimmy and SPAC memes. Yeah, you're good. And SoFi is what? It's fintech?
Lending, yeah. It's a good company.
The future of finance.
Sure.
Okay.
They all are, right?
Yeah.
Everything's the future.
Doesn't matter. I guess what's the point?
True. Good point.
We could sit and litigate SoFi, but it actually doesn't matter because it's going to go up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you one thing about the SoFi stock. Going to the moon.
Going to the moon.
Only thing you need to know is the Ram Stadium is named SoFi.
Oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's worth an investment.
And Boots is going in SoFi. So we're all in on SoFi.
Yeah, we're in.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Chamath. Back again. Pete's friend, man. He's a real smart guy.
Yeah, real smart guy.
You know? And then what about, with all this investing, most of, a lot of where I would say our listeners probably invest and a lot of the retail investor is over on Robinhood. Mm-hmm. So you'd think, Robinhood probably no complaints in the world. Everything's great. Nothing they would change. It turns out there is one thing that they would change. They wish that they had more female investors. And apparently that's a common feeling.
So it says that Robinhood tripled the number of women users during the pandemic, but it is still a very small portion of their user base. Fidelity said of their 26 million retail brokerage accounts, 41% are held by women. So that's a little more balanced. But what do you think it is about young women that are not interested or not engaged at a young level? Clearly, as they get older, Fidelity's data shows that they're more, it's balancing out. But the every 25-year-old guy we know has Robinhood, right?
And brags about it.
Well,
But the Robinhood thing actually surprises me because amongst millennials or whatever, Gen Z, whatever the next group is, Robinhood is such an institution for them. Like that's in their social circles. We joke about it, but then we got DM like, yeah, it's true. When you're around your friends, you're talking Robinhood, you're talking sneakers, and you're talking Fortnite.
But that's all dudes.
But
And here's what I would say. I bet you if you took the average 30-year-old man and the average 30-year-old woman that earns the same living, I wouldn't be surprised if women have more money.
I would imagine they do.
Yeah, because dudes
I
are out
think
here
men
like,
are-
get it,
Get it.
Gary B, fucking hustle.
They're fucking buying Dogecoin.
Yeah, freaking Dogecoin, Dave Portnoy. Where like the women are like, yo, we'll get to it. And when they do, it's just smarter.
Yeah, and I just imagine like a 30-year-old guy is blowing all of his money chasing girls, trying to show off, thinking he's a smart investor. And then the 30-year-old woman is like methodically saving and building like a potential fortune.
Yeah, my view of like what's going on in the 20-year-old age group is that the males are just getting smoked on options, just like losing every dollar
all day.
possible. Options are damn near impossible unless you're like actually know what you're doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's other than that, it's just gambling, and the house always wins.
Yep. Totally. I think, young men from 20 to 35 just gamble, get the shit kicked out of them. Yes, and the reason I was telling you that is because I think it's unique.
Okay, got it.
I don't think, and then look, I don't, and just to be clear here, in case anyone's really sensitive.
You're getting canceled.
I'm getting canceled.
Right now, whatever you're about to say.
I know.
I'm
This is my
I'm trying to
correction.
big up
Yeah.
the young
You're
females.
trying to save me, and I'm just grabbing the shovel. No, look. I'm by no means saying that women in general don't care about money or about investing, or like I'm not by any means saying that. But I am saying that it seems like the sort of gambly, like hustle, get this paper is a majority male trait. And so if the statistics on Robinhood reflected that, I just would be curious to see studies that would show that it matches interest level.
Yeah, I mean, I'd assume options for 20-year-olds, 99% males just losing money.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think all the Dave Portnoy, Dyrdek, the same way. I think if you looked at all the like who signed up for Robinhood, like who's the Dave Portnoy for young women?
Right. Like Pete
who's
downloaded Robinhood because of Dave Portnoy.
Yeah.
Like there's no question.
100%. And that's why, I don't know, like I said, willing to be wrong here, but I just think that young sort of gambly version of investing and Robinhood and stuff is a male trait.
Yeah, like if
whatever,
the Caller
please don't
Daddy
cancel me.
podcast duo were posting day trading all day.
If she was talking about keys to success and her options that are paying off and her long-term investments, like that would make sense. There'd probably be a lot of young women that would be like, oh, this is really interesting. But
Yeah.
I'm sure there are people doing that. I bet you
there
there
definitely
people.
are. There definitely are. But I would guess that like the ratio on Robinhood probably reflects, the general interest level of young men and women.
That's fair.
Or I'm completely wrong and people are pissed at me and I'm tone deaf. So
And
I don't know.
this is our last podcast.
And we'll see you guys later. All right. Good talk. Okay. Next up, we have, what's this Uber story? Uber, this guy tweeted Uber's been defrauded out of $100 million in ad spend. What's this story?
Yeah, so this is actually a huge problem in digital advertising across the board. Uber, obviously a huge advertiser digitally, turned off some of their spend in different categories and saw no drop in sales. And this is a huge problem this is kind of why I had a beef with Honey. Honey is a perfect example of a system that's claiming attribution for the sale because at point of checkout, you're checking Honey for a discount code, and then Honey gets credit for it.
Yep.
Is Honey the reason why you're on the site about to make the purchase? No.
Yeah.
And so this is a huge problem across the entire industry where billions of dollars are being spent, and we really don't know how to attribute it. The only true way to do it is if you're a big advertiser is literally isolate every spend with no other spend on, and then you'll know quickly. Like if you turn off your Facebook spend and your sales are still the same, that means Facebook wasn't driving your sales. If you turn off your Facebook and your sales go to zero, then you know that is you can attribute Facebook or search or banner ads or whatever it is, display. And I think so many companies during the pandemic finally started cutting their spend because they were just nervous. And then most people probably saw sales be fine and they weren't spending all this money.
Yeah, because there's no proof that as a growth spender, you're actually getting the value that you think you're getting. I just don't buy it. Like, I know they send you a report, this reached this many impressions and blah, blah, blah. There's no way to audit that.
I think the two that are very clear are Facebook and search. Like, they're a little more clear in the sense that there's enough volume there that if you turned off every other dollar of your ad spend and only did Facebook, you'd still probably drive sales. And if you turned off all of your spend and only left search, you'd probably still drive sales. The problem is people are spending money everywhere now, and it's impossible to attribute what's actually working. So, as a growth marketer, you just have to start turning shit off, taking the risk for a week and being like, all right.
And no one will do that if you're a fast growing company because they're just doing the simple math. If I acquire for X and I'm selling Y and the math makes sense, who cares? So I think it's a whole house of cards in the way these advertisers are sending data, but the companies don't care. So should I?
Nope. I'd say no.
Moving on.
Okay, moving on. I think that's also true, like just to your point to kind of close that out is like a lot of that's probably been exposed in this new COVID world, A lot of the truth has come to light, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap up with winners, losers content. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, Dee, who is your biggest winner of the last week?
My biggest winner, so on the episode, I think that we released on Monday, I don't remember what day it is, a few days ago, we talked about if you're in a dead industry, and we started listing out different things. And I got a ton of DMs. I'm sure Anand got a bunch of DMs as well. And, I got to talk to a lot of our listeners. And I'm going to tell you, we have a lot of winners. Kathy's are the winners this week. People were telling me, I don't think I'm trying to think, did I speak to anyone in a dead industry? I don't know if I did. I talked to a lot of people in a lot of different industries, from like architects working at car companies to people in hospitality and different segments of it. And I definitely feel that if you listen to this podcast, and I even got a DM from someone who was in the gym space. He said, I sold my business and I'm getting in and I'm learning I'm getting an engineering degree. And it just shows that like there is a segment of the population, and it may just be over-indexing with our listeners, that actually know that the world is changing and that you have to be in the right industries. And it could be whatever it is. We're calling it technology enabled, or you're going to be left behind. And the simple, way to think about it is look at the stock prices of tech-enabled businesses versus non-tech enabled businesses. It's light and day, and that's your career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's simple as if you want to be a farmer, but make sure you're tracking your goods using technology and you're more efficient than other farmers.
Yeah.
And my winner is also in the same vein. He's Kathy. He's 22. His name's Uziel Hernandez. He said I could use his name. He said, listen to the podcast. This really is group chat you, by the way, because this isn't the only one DM I've gotten. Yep. Listening to Tuesday's podcast, I'm a 22-year-old living in Houston, and I wanted to get a bachelor's degree in accounting. Is that a dead industry? And I said, yes. He goes, thank you. My major just changed.
That's incredible.
You didn't even give an alternative.
Oh my gosh. He's like, thank you. I'm going into a steel plant.
And I'm not and I'm not shitting on accountants. One of my best friends is an accountant. Yeah. He does all our accounting.
Yep. Great guy.
Great guy. Yeah. He's going to be fine. But over time, that's a business that's going to get automated. Mm-hmm. It just has to.
Yep.
And if you're 22 going into accounting, it made sense for our friend to go to accounting at 22 because he knew he was going to have a job and stability, and he still will. Yeah. But a 22-year-old, you have the choice. you see what's going on in other industries, it's going to happen there too.
Yeah, one thing that I think is so valuable that I've learned as I've gotten older is like for the most part, for the sake of my point, like hard work is hard work. Like if you're willing to work hard and educate yourself and whatever, that's all sort of equal. But knowing early on what type of field you want to get involved in because of what the future even is, and that, you know, like there's a lot of people that are billionaires that just got in the right industry.
For sure.
There's a lot of these like YouTubers that like David Dobrik, and not hating on him by any means, had no idea that YouTube was going to become the big. He was just doing what was available. And same with podcasting. Joe Rogan, no idea that there was one day a multi-$100-million exit there. So as much information as you can gather young about which direction you're going is so priceless. It's just hard to get that information.
Yeah, like you don't want to enter in an industry at 21 where you know there's a cap.
Yeah. Or where it might be just done in 10 years.
Yes.
Like don't become a driver right now.
Right. Don't be an Uber driver.
Yeah.
And don't be a postman. Those are going to get automated.
Yeah, it's okay if you're doing that to pay the bills while you're working on your other hustle. But like that to me is the most priceless, hardest to find knowledge is, are you even, because look, if you're going to work hard and you're going to learn, there's billionaires that don't work harder than 100,000aires. They just chose the right thing by luck or by skill, and it makes a total difference in your life.
Totally.
My winner, I got to go with the obvious. My winner here is Georgia. And I want to say the voters of Georgia, you know, it was a very close race in the original election. They buckled down. They got out there. They flipped this thing. I didn't think this would happen. Yeah. So in the middle of it's funny because everything was happening yesterday, but at the same time, they won that race. And just props to Georgia, man. Georgia, like, is as Republican for as long as could be, and they just are sick of it.
You know, it's funny. All the political pundits were talking about what states could be flipped.
Yeah.
And they would always mention Georgia, but say, don't get your hopes up. Yeah. Like, Georgia's not flipping. Mm-hmm. And the blue wave happened.
And of course, Donnie can't believe it. Donnie's like, Georgia? There has to be fraud.
You know, it's the best. The day after Georgia, he was at whatever speech he was giving, and he said those two candidates didn't stand a shot the whole time.
He did. And then he said in his speech, like, yeah, see, they robbed it again in Georgia today. Like, what?
You know what's crazy? It is being, both candidates, camps have said this, that they made Warnock darker in ads. The Republicans made Warnock darker in ads to just feel more black. Wow. And they made Ossoff's nose bigger because he's Jewish.
Wow. That's that's that Hitler stuff, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Okay, what about losers?
It's obvious.
You got a buffet here to choose from.
Yeah, I mean, I'm picking Donald Trump. I mean, he's officially the biggest joke in American history. And I'm confident that he will be arrested and he will be behind bars before his life is over, he will be behind bars.
I just want to reiterate, I think biggest joke in American history is possibly valid.
Right. And he was the president.
I mean? Yeah. Holy cow. Yeah, I agree. Anand, same thing?
Yeah, same thing, but I actually want to take a different angle, just the state of California, actually, because of how shitty the vaccine rollout's been. Yeah. It's an absolute joke.
Well, look, when you're at French Laundry, it's hard to like, what are your focus? You know, like,
fancy Cabernet, apparently.
You know, like, I'll get to the vaccine thing tomorrow.
I mean, you can call local hospitals and say, like, hey, what's the vaccine rollout? And they'll say, we have no idea.
Yep.
Which is insane.
Insane. And I believe that they just posted in, like, the UK, like, starting blah, 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 they're going to have, like, starting to be available at, like, pharmacies. Like, there was some promising news that just showed another, people ahead of us. Florida,
even in Florida, Georgia, anyone over 65 can go get it now. That's insane.
All right, well, here we are, man. Good thing we locked down and stuff.
Good thing French Laundry's open.
Yeah.
Okay, California is a big joke.
Yeah. Big joke. My only adjustment to that same critique on D's is, like I said, anyone still, not that I give you a pass if you did it a week ago, but anyone still trying to come up with excuses or say it wasn't that bad or anything like that about all this stuff yesterday, I just think you're the biggest loser ever created. And I don't even understand how like a functioning human adult could be so dumb.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, content recommendations. How do we take our
Mine-
minds off this crazy world?
I got a
Or
new
maybe we
show
don't.
for you.
Ooh.
So, I've been watching.
Must be good.
It must be good. So, I'm watching two shows simultaneously, and they're both about like English royalty.
Oh, you're
One is
watching
called
Bridgerton.
I'm watching The Crown and Bridgerton.
I watched Bridgerton,
Oh my god!
and I was going to recommend it to you.
Yeah, and it's by Shonda Rhimes, which I'm a huge fan of Scandal, so it's a easy slide in there. It's about high society London in 1800s or whatever, and basically there's like a group, like a bunch of families trying to marry off their daughters, and there's like a couple eligible bachelors. It's effectively The Bachelor, but set up as a drama. It's really entertaining and funny. Highly recommend it.
Speaking of auditing numbers, Netflix tweeted out that 63 million people watched Bridgerton.
I believe it.
63 million.
The guy added 1.5 million in followers in
He
a
should
week.
have added 63.
Yeah, you should have added
I
at
mean,
least
but I'm not following it.
at least
I'm not
20
gonna
million. I think Netflix and Trump have a lot in common when it comes to reporting numbers. Okay, good one. Anand?
A podcast, 20-minute VC. He gets a British guy that moved to San Francisco.
Okay.
And he's like super dialed in Silicon Valley. And his last episode is with Bill Gurley, who's a partner at Benchmark, and Howard Marks, the founder of Oaktree. And they're two legendary investors, one in tech, one in just macro markets.
Yeah.
And they're obviously brilliant, but they're able to explain things in a very simple way, which is when you know someone's really brilliant.
Yep.
So if you want to learn about inflation and why the markets are going up and what the future is and how tech companies that are super valued today, like what they're going to have to achieve in order to keep these multiples, great way to learn.
Harry Stebbings?
Yes.
Okay. I'm in. I'm taking your rec right now.
It's a good one.
Okay, mine, I'm going to go boring, but Pete's not here, so fuck it. I'm rereading a book.
Rereading. You ran out of books.
Well, I have new ones, but this one seemed very of the moment. It is Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman, I believe is how you say his last name. Sorry, my mic came unplugged, or my headphones. It's a really good book about like all the flaws in how we think. So like it's a big like Bill Gates book and stuff like that. It's more like applied, I think. It's kind of like the tech way of thinking, like where's my biases, where's my whatever. But I just think in this time, if you are, it's not necessarily a fun book to read, so only for like the diehard readers out there. But I always look out for that part of our crowd. Mm-hmm. But it is very makes a lot of sense when you look at how things are going now, and obviously it's based in a lot of research and stuff like that about all the flaws in how we think. So
Nice.
That's my recommendation.
Okay.
That's all we got. Anything we're missing, team?
I got a shout out. I got a shout out to Devesh Patel. His birthday was this week, and his homie wanted to give him a shout out. He also goes by D, and he's Indian.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, D Patel.
Shout out to you, D.
Yeah.
I've got two shout outs as well.
Wow.
We've got Dixon Nass from California says, "Hey guys, curious if drama would ever do a part 2 of skydiving with Fetty Wap."
Oh, well.
Maybe
no,
you,
the answer's
Fetty
no.
Wap, and Zach Bia. So you finally respond to
that I would do. That I would do.
Okay, okay.
That's the condition.
And also, it's 2021. D has Detour. Drama has Short Story Long or Had It. We will continue to bully him until it's back.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anand needs to launch his own mini investing finance pod. If Bryce
agree.
Hall can do it, so can Anand.
I agree.
Anand, the brown version of Chamath. Keep up the great work.
Chamath is brown.
Chamath's brown. I would say though.
This guy hasn't looked up Chamath. He's like,
He probably
smart
thinks
guy,
it's like
gotta
an
be
old
white.
white dude.
Yeah.
And then the other one's from Maddie. Maddie's in Manchester, England. Says, happy birthday to Luke Sawney. It's his 23rd birthday on Sunday, the 10th of January. Diehard Kathy, who introduced me, and more of our friends to the pod took part in the Graham Running Club Challenge in December, smashing a 10-kilometer, and it's planning on running 23. I'm guessing that's his friend. Is planning on running a 23-kilometer for his 23rd
Call your friend It's.
birthday. He's all in on Bitcoin, so hopefully it'll go to the moon and he makes money. Also, his birthday is during the exam period. He's a final year student at University of Manchester, so hopefully he can smash him.
Shout out to you,
Nice.
man.
Yeah.
Smash it.
job.
You and It's.
Yeah.
You and it.
We've also got a little fan question Friday, which
Yeah.
comes from Maxwell Christie. And I've actually been wondering this as well because I just talked about this with my roommate yesterday.
Okay.
This is for the group, but mostly for Anand. What percentage of a person's savings should be deployed in the financial crypto markets versus held in a traditional savings account? You guys joked about 100% recently. Was that in passing or a legit opinion?
I would say that's in passing. I think it depends your age and your risk tolerance. It's not for everyone. So if you can stomach 20, 40, 50% swings, then go for it. If you can't, just put a little bit in.
Yeah. My opinion is it dramatically depends on how much money we're talking and what your overhead is. I would say anything from Anand's. Look, if you're like Pete, put all of it. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, right? But if you're like,
you're lucky to be in LA.
yeah, like, but if your savings is like, $3 million and whatever, then at 10%.
Yeah. I mean, here's my investment strategy my entire 20s, and it's now changed because I'm married with a kid, and early 30s, was I put my money in the highest risk things, period. Lost a lot of it, but the few winners make up for it overwhelmingly. But I also had access to things that most people won't because my friends are just in technology. So you have to weigh that in too. But crypto is something
crypto
everyone
gives
is
you
access to.
that. Yeah, crypto is accessible to everyone, and if you believe that it's the future and you're willing to be patient, I think the challenge with young people in investing, Robinhood is the perfect example of. I think what's bad about it is that it's training people to go in and out, and if put aside everything you believe about investing and you believe Warren Buffett is one of the best investors ever, it's about time. It just takes time. And you can't be in and out every single day and think you're going to make a lot of money. All these guys that have amassed wealth, Warren Buffett's path to becoming one of the richest men in the world is a very boring path, but it worked.
Yeah. Didn't you say, wasn't it Anand or someone that said, it's not about timing the market, it's about time in market?
I think
Yeah, that's what
Buffett. I wish I came up with that.
I'm not saying you came up with it, but right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you should be thinking about it. Unless you're fucking Pete-ish, then fucking go for it.
Yeah, and I think crypto is something everyone has access to, and if you actually do the research, there's stuff that you can trade. Anyone in the world can trade. If you actually did the research, you could find like crazy value.
Yeah, agreed. Especially right now.
Yeah.
All right. Hope that helped.
Well, that's all of our fan interactions.
I feel like that was secretly a Tim Enterprises question.
Yeah.
That was
Hey, our audience is curious. If you had, let's say, a zoom out style portfolio.
We have a new strategy. It's called
we have a new
refresh.
strategy. Yeah.
Oh,
You just refresh and the price goes up.
Oh. And you just kind of ride that?
Yeah.
Got it.
It may come with arthritis because you keep pressing your
A little
thumb.
quicker, right? A little quicker
Yeah.
process.
Yeah. I mean, every
into
time you
it.
hit refresh, crypto goes up. Refresh.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. I like that. All right. There it is. Guys, have a great weekend. Stay safe. Stay masked up. And we will see you on Sunday night. Bye-bye.